another episode of the Chem Valley Show. This is episode number 8, lockdown day number 8 here in Ontario. And what I'm trying to do is just interview a guest every single day. And this is someone here who actually I've been looking to connect with for a while. We connected back this summer. I went to high school, or I was in high school while he was playing basketball. I got the pleasure of watching him as I was in grade 9. I believe he was in his first year senior. And I got to watch him do a lot of really cool things. He won a city championship, and he's done a lot of really good things within basketball. He was a U Sports national champion, 2 times All-Star, 4-year professional basketball player, top 8 all-time in total points at McMaster. He's got a ton of accomplishments, and we're going to talk about them all today. Joining me now, Joe Rocca. How's it going, Joe?
Good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to talking to you and just talking a little bit about your story, because I know it's definitely a really cool one. It's great to see people from Sarnia go out and play pro in other countries and represent our country and city. It's really great to see. So we're going to talk all about that today, and I'm really looking forward to it. Let's start off with talking about how you got into basketball and where you started out playing.
I started basketball when I was probably grade 3. Both my parents played at Fanshawe College, so it was given to us that we can play some basketball, and we have some pretty good deans. So started playing at a pretty young age, and I originally liked soccer better than I liked basketball. But as I kind of grew up, my dad started to coach me and kind of show me the ropes a little bit about things. And
your parents both played basketball, right?
Yeah, they were both at Fanshawe. They're all Canadians at Fanshawe, so
oh wow,
it was in the blood that basketball is probably going to be the sport I chose. So my brother started playing it, and I started playing it. I started to love it, and I guess the rest was history.
When did you realize that basketball was what you were going to follow?
Probably in about grade 5 or 6. I started to really love it and take it seriously. I was a big soccer guy when I was younger, and I really loved it. So I kind of started to move away from that and picked up basketball and really committed to it. And my dad and mom kind of said, if this is really something you want to do, then go and do it, right? But you got to be all in if you're gonna.
And was your dad your coach pretty well all the way up for you, or did you have other coaches as well that were there for you that you would say kind of motivated you? Because I know there was, like, around St. Chris anyways, I know one guy in particular that was really, like, motivating and helpful to a lot of the basketball players was Sean Mayhew.
Yeah. Those are guys like Sean Mayhew, Trevor Shar, Dave Elsley. Like, those are the guys that I had in high school. When I was younger, it was my dad kind of coached me in club basketball from grade 3 really to grade 8, and then after that he took a step back for both myself and my brothers. And then in my high school career, I had some really, really good mentors, like I said, Elsley and Trevor Shard, Sean Mayhew, even Chris Jones at Northern. I still connect with, and it's nice to kind of connect and talk to those guys kind of after, now that my career is over, to kind of follow up with them and see how they're doing and stuff like that. So
what were some of your favorite memories from high school, playing basketball in high school or growing up?
Yeah, just the guys, man. Like, I look back now, and like, those guys are some of my best friends, right? Like Alex DeCarlos, Eric McDonald, Nick Varsaville, those type of guys, Daniel Spinato. Like, I played with all these guys in high school, and we're still in a fantasy football league, and we're still kind of in a group chat, and it's just those memories that you get from playing with these guys throughout high school. You don't get those times back, and you don't realize it when you're in the moment. But looking back on it, we always have good memories of high school and the road trips with Elsley, and just a lot of good times kind of going through it.
For sure. And I see in this picture here, your brother's in there as well. What was it like playing with your brother?
It was cool. I would have liked to play with him more. In grade 11, I was going into my last year, and I expected, like, oh, we're going to have a season together, and we're going to have a shot to win OFSA. Like, we had the team to go and win OFSA. Prior to that season, Mike got the news that he was going to have hip surgery, which was completely devastating for him. And it was devastating for me, but I'm the older brother. I didn't really want to show it because he's going through a tough time with hip surgery, and then doctors saying, oh, he might not be able to come back, he might not be able to play basketball anymore, and all this and that. So, to get the opportunity, he came back. He's nuts. He was up at like 5 a.m. working out and doing his rehab. He got to come back in the playoffs. We made a run and off, so we lost in the finals. But I was able to play with him a little bit throughout that season, which was special for not only me, but it was special for my parents to watch us on the court at the same time. And to me and him kind of grew up. My older brother played hockey at a high level, but me and Mike kind of stuck to basketball, and we grew up training together, and we went through a lot of stuff. So to finally be able to get a chance on that stage to play together was special.
That's incredible. And I remember watching you guys as kids, and like just the Rocca name, you knew that they were the most like focused and just dedicated athletes. I would say in the area, it would be hard to find another more hardworking pair of athletes than the Roccas here in Sarnia.
We had to do that. We were not the most gifted athletically. We were not the most gifted basketball players, but I mean, we always kind of held our hat on being the hardest workers and trying to do it that way because the God-given talent wasn't the number one thing for us.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit about what you did after high school. What was your first? Where did you go after high school?
I originally committed to McMaster, and that was exciting for me because like throughout my grade 12 and 13 year, started getting recruited, and it was pretty exciting. Kind of all these coaches give me calls and have me down for visits and stuff. And McMaster at the time felt right, and so I decided to play there. I decided to go there. I had a good run there. It was individually, I scored a lot of points, and I was the leading scorer a lot of the years. It was good. So I committed to Mac, and it was a great 4 years, and I really loved it. And I have a degree from McMaster, which is a top 100 school in the world. So nothing really bad to say about that. Built some good friendships there. And
is that where you won the championship?
No, and then I decided to, after my fourth year, to transfer, and it was a big decision for me because I got to sit out a year at that point, right? So
I was gonna ask because I know you only get so many years to play, and I know if you choose to transfer, it's kind of like a whole process. Because I know a couple guys who I played football with went through the same thing. But like, what was that like?
It was a process. Like making that decision and finally being like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It was a thought out process. It wasn't anything like it was a.
Was your brother at Windsor at the time?
My brother was at Windsor, yeah.
So did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah. So it came down to at that point I was starting to think like, okay, maybe I can be a pro. Like when I went into university, that wasn't on my mind. I wanted to have a good experience and I wanted to do really well in university. But then as the years kind of went along, I was like, okay, maybe I can be a pro. Maybe I can go overseas. Maybe I can do this and that. So. That was part of my decision. Like University of Carleton is one of the most sought after universities in Canada and North America. So they were always going to be an option if they wanted me. And I got the call from Dave Smart there, and he wanted to have me down for a visit, and he was super interested. So I was like, okay. And then obviously with Mike at Windsor, I respect the hell out of Chris Oliver, who was at Windsor. So I was like, okay, like I started telling teams that were calling I was just like, I'm just keep this short. Like I'm not trying to go through the recruiting process. I want to just go. I want to go either Windsor or I'm going to go to Carleton. And I told people that, and I wanted to be upfront with schools that were trying to maybe recruit me to go play there for the last couple of years. So I just was like, okay, I don't want to go through all that. I'm just going to decide. I ended up deciding to go to Carleton, and it ended up being the best decision of my life. Nothing against Windsor. They have a great program. Mike loved it there. But going to Carleton was one of the best decisions of my life, not only basketball, but in terms of trying to mold me as a person. It was pretty influential.
And did you take on more schooling, obviously, when you went there? What were you studying while you went to school at McMaster?
So when I was at McMaster, I was in communications, and then I finished.
And what did you want to do originally? Did you know that end goal was real estate or?
No, I kind of started. I had a passion for it when I was younger, but I didn't really know. I was kind of just all over the place. Didn't know what I really wanted truly. It was when kind of after Carleton, when I became a pro, I started to kind of start thinking like, okay, what's after basketball? So, basically, when I went to Carleton, I was studying to finish my McMaster degree. So they allowed me to do like a visiting student degree. So I was finishing my McMaster degree, while I was redshirting, which is nice. And then the following year, I took a bunch of business courses, minored in business, and that's what I did in my final year at Carleton, which was good because I have a love for business, and I have a love for like media and this type of stuff. So, yeah, that was kind of what I was doing school wise. And then other than that, it's a pretty grueling process to play at Carleton. And there's a lot of demands on the court, so that kept me busy, and that kept me kind of motivated to. I had a goal I wanted to get to. I wanted to be a pro, so that was a huge reason for why I got to it. I got to be.
Let's talk about a little bit about that. Like, what was it like, that process from like say high school basketball going to play in university?
So when I first got to McMaster, there were growing pains, right? Like physically, I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the best defender. I could score, but there was so many more levels to it, and I ended up carving out 15 minutes a game my first year, which was good. We were top 10 national ranked program, so that was good, and that was obviously it was a good thing for me. But I mean, if anyone knows me, they know that I expect a lot of myself, and I wanted more than that. And I mean, I knew that if I wanted to get to that point, and I wanted to be a starter, and I wanted to be a consistent scorer, and whatever, I was going to have to put in a ton more work. And you think you're working hard until you get to the next level, and you're like, okay, I got to work a little harder. And then you get to the next level, and you're like, okay, I haven't worked hard enough. I got to keep going, right? So it's just kind of understanding that you might think you're working hard, but at the end of the day, you got to understand that there's people out there that are going harder than you are and working smarter than you are, and you got to find an edge somehow, by whether that's surrounding yourself with people that are better than you or doing something that's going to make you have success moving forward.
What would you say are some of the things that were pivotal in your success along the way? Because I know you have like a basketball court in your backyard, and that probably helped you out along the way, like just going out and shooting whenever you felt like it, really.
Yeah, it definitely helped. It was, I mean, we're so fortunate to have that. Our parents kind of gave us that to. They never forced us and said, okay, you're playing basketball. They put it there, and they said, if you guys want to be great, you guys can go do it, but that's going to be up to you, right? So I mean, the family was a huge one. I mean, I tried to surround myself with people that pushed me and held me accountable, because like you can let yourself off the hook a lot and do the woe is me thing, and if you don't have people around you that hold you accountable and want to make you better and want the best for you, then you're in trouble. So I mean, I had my older brother who played at a very high level of hockey, and he kind of was guiding us in some of the mistakes he made and pushing us in a different direction, and then Mike, having him to be my training partner, and whenever I didn't want to go to the gym, he pulled me. Whenever he didn't want to go to the gym, I pulled him, and it was just a lot of it came from my family kind of holding me accountable, and then obviously, like I mentioned before, coaches in high school and teammates and stuff like that they saw potential in me and wanted me to get to that level. So it was big having them as well.
So after university, what did you do? What was your first plan? Did you start looking at were pro teams coming after you, or did you start looking out there for options?
It's tough, man. Like people think you're just gonna become a pro if you have a good season or a good career in university. They're like, okay, I can be a pro. Anyone thinks they can be a pro, right? And that wasn't the case. Like I was reaching out to agents and trying to find someone that would give me a shot, right? Like they don't. A lot of the times they're like, okay, who are you? Why would I take a shot on you at you? Why would I pay you to play basketball, right? And a lot of the times, like, teams don't want to give people a shot, right? But I was fortunate enough to get a contract offer from the Niagara River Lions. I actually got, following my season at Carleton, they called me up and said, we need some shooting, we need some scoring. Do you want to come play for 7 games? I was like, sure. So I eventually signed with them the year after, and that was kind of my shot, right? And
was that in 2017?
Yeah, so the first stint I played 7 games right after we won national championship with Carleton.
And what league is that in?
The NBL Canada. So they still have a league, but there's now a better.
Is that like London Lightning?
Yeah, London Lightning. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, so that was my first real shot to kind of play at the pro level and get some video and get some film. So eventually, when I did want to go overseas, I'd have something for them to see. Like, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I would bring to your team. Now I can get an agent and go from there, right?
And I don't think there's too many. Like, I don't think a lot of people out there know that there's these leagues here in Canada. Like for instance, like Lambton or the London Lightning. I didn't really discover them until like I want to say a few years ago, and it's great to see because obviously it created some opportunity for you. Is this the team you went to after?
Yeah. So this was following my year in Slovakia. So the year after I played in Niagara, I signed with BK Spiskanovo Vest in Slovakia, which is cool. I had a really good experience there. Played really well.
Was that your first time playing overseas? Yeah.
First time playing overseas.
What was that experience like? Like kind of going? Were you on your own?
No, I had a few other Canadians that were actually on the team as well too. Adam Pasuti and Matt Marshall, who also played against me and with me in university. So it was nice to have them there, and I mean the team really took care of us over there. There were some sponsors there that kind of showed us around and really took care of us, and I had a really good experience there. I really enjoyed it, and I mean we got to see a lot of places. I got to travel a little bit when we had time off, which is cool, and that's really what I wanted to do when I was over there. I was like, I don't want to sit in my room all the time because you can get bored. So we traveled a little bit, and then that summer I got drafted by Hamilton Honey Badgers in the CBL, which is the new Canadian Pro League, which they're doing an unbelievable job in Canadian talent, and had a really good experience that summer with them too. So it's a summer league, 4-month season, and it gives Canadians an opportunity to come home after their seasons overseas and play in the league and go from there and make a little bit of money too, because a lot of times.
Awesome. So is that Hamilton team? Is there any other teams that are closer to us?
Yeah, well, so Niagara River Lions are now in that league. They have a Guelph team. They have a team in Hamilton. They have a team in Fraser Valley, BC. They have a team in Saskatchewan.
Oh, wow.
They have a team in Edmonton and a team in Ottawa, and they're looking to expand. So the league's doing a good job. Obviously, the pandemic's threw a little wrench in this, but I know the people, kind of the people that are running it. They're really smart people and really driven people. So they're gonna be in good hands.
It's definitely not easy to start up a league, and I mean, obviously with the NBA being the forefront of all of basketball, like you look at the WNBA and how hard of a time they have with stuff like that. Do you think they'll have a hard time building their league with like other leagues like the NBA, or
it's all about?
Do you think there's opportunity there?
I do. I think there's definitely opportunity in Canada. The product just has to be good, and they gotta put it out there, and I think the fans will come. It's just a matter of time and marketing it to a point that people want to see it. And I think the first year they had a pretty good amount of fans, and I don't think that is going to go down. I think it's just going to continue to rise, and eventually it'll be the premier league in Canada, and I think fans will really kind of pull themselves to that.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people appreciate it too, because let's face it, to go to see a Raptors game, it's pretty expensive.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, those tickets are insane, but hopefully at some point Canada basketball can not only be on par with the States, but maybe be better one day. But only time will tell, I guess.
That's right. Hey, I think the Raptors winning the title definitely helped things out.
That was big. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Are you a Raptors fan, or?
I am. Yeah. We were on when they won the title, we were on a flight to Edmonton. We had a game in Edmonton for the CBL, and they had it on the PA system in the plane, and we were just going nuts. So we got off the flight, and they just won, and we were going nuts. I felt like it was an out of body experience when they won.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
And you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan as well too. You got to be happy with how your teams are doing right now.
I'm the biggest Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan that you probably will ever meet. Yeah, I love them. I love them. I've been a fan since 2001, so I haven't seen much playoff success other than their Super Bowl, but I was really young.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting seeing them in the playoffs.
Definitely. So after the Honey Badgers, you went overseas again?
Yeah.
Yeah, and was it to a new team, new experience? How did that come about?
Yeah, I signed in. So last year I had a pretty good season in Slovakia and a good season with Hamilton. So I was under the impression that I want to sign in a solid league, and I want to get a good salary and so on and so forth. So I held out a little bit. I mean, there were some contract offers in August and September, but I mean, it wasn't. None of them really fit, and they didn't feel right. So then November rolls around, and I mean, it's getting late to sign, right? So once you get to November, December, like a lot of leagues are midway through the season. So I ended up signing with a team in Georgia, Tbilisi, Georgia, which I had never really heard about. I mean, across the world, it's further than It's further east than Turkey. So
yeah, honestly, I watched UFC before, and I've seen a fighter come up from Georgia, and honestly, when I hear Georgia, I think of like Atlanta. So
exactly. Yeah. So I didn't really know too much about it. I looked at pictures and I was like, oh, this place looks beautiful. Like I've really seen it before. So I ended up signing with Zavrebi, BC in Tbilisi, Georgia.
I'm glad you pronounced that because I wasn't gonna attempt it.
Yeah, I signed with them, and it ended up being a good experience. The city was beautiful. It's over 1 million people, and there was stuff to do. I could go out of my room and travel around the city, and there was no shortage of things to see. So I had a pretty good experience, but then obviously COVID.
Yeah, like last year around this time, isn't it crazy? Like last year around this time, you probably were there, weren't you?
I was there. There.
That's insane.
The situation when COVID started was pretty wild. Leaving a country and having to switch flights around and being like.
So 2020 has been a pretty whirlwind. Like when you say whirlwind year, it's been a whirlwind year for you. Like you've had you've had a lot of change, and let's start off with talking about that. Obviously, with playing in Poland, you got the call. Or how did that come about? Like obviously the decision to come home during that time. And
basically, when I started seeing COVID cases start to rise, I had heard rumblings of the leagues in FIBA was going to shut down. So I was like, okay, like what's the plan here? Like, so I went to my club and I said, like, we need to get a flight because this is not getting better. And on the day, a couple of days before they canceled leagues, we were set to play a game. Like, we were going to play a game, and my coach is like, no, game's going to go as planned and all this and all that. I was like, I don't know about that.
Wow.
We'll see. Like, he's like, just play, don't worry about it. I was like, okay. At that time, I was pretty scared because way across the world, I'm hearing borders shut down and this and that. So I ended up getting on a flight as quick as I could. And
what was that experience like? Obviously, being on planes and traveling during that time.
It was different. I was just more cautious. I mean, I was just more cautious, making sure I'm washing my hands, staying away from people, wearing a mask. So it was pretty surreal. Then you get home and you're in a quarantine, right? So since then, you really haven't had too much interaction with people like you used to, which has been weird. And I mean, thank God that everything went fine and I got home. And then that's when kind of I had to sit down and really think about what my next step is. I was getting my real estate license. I got it when I was playing over there. I just figured like I like it. I'm going to do my license. I'm going to see what happens. And then when I got home, I really had to sit down with my family and my girlfriend and just kind of go over like what's the best step, because this season overseas teams aren't paying guys to come over because the seasons are getting shut down and games are getting canceled. So I ended up making the difficult decision just to stop playing, which was really, really tough. But I haven't regretted it for a day since I did it. So that's the most positive thing about it. I'm loving real estate so much. I'm loving what we do with Rocca so much. So, and I'm loving living at home living in Sarnia. We bought a house, and I'm loving living in Sarnia. And I'm really enjoying it. So
that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about Rocca before we talk about how you got into real estate and everything, because I know that came first, right? Like you started Rocca a few summers ago, I want to say.
Yeah, we started in 2017. Mike and I just started at small couple camps, and ever since then it's kind of growing. We've been to a bunch of cities for camps and stuff. Obviously, this summer was shut down because of camps, but we were able to do group sessions and stuff. And, our athletes have been great. Like, I have so many good things to say about the athletes and the parents that we meet, and it's myself, my girlfriend who also played overseas for 4 years, and my brother who played at a high level also. So we're loving every second of it. We get so excited, maybe more excited than the kids when we get to go train them and stuff. So
that's awesome.
We're loving what we're doing, and I just, like the sky's the limit kind of for the program. And
what's your goal with it? Because I know there's other programs. Like I know when I went to high school, the one that everyone talked about was like Olympia. Is that what you're trying to kind of bring to life and make it more of like a basketball, just basketball driven?
Well, yeah, it's gonna always be basketball driven. That's what it's gonna be. And I mean, we're trying to mold a complete athlete. It's never we've played for so many great coaches that like we want to kind of take that information and give it back to them. And not only make them good basketball players, make them have fun with it and make them good people and kind of help mold them that way and attitude and stuff like that. So little important things that kind of maybe hurt us during our careers, we want to make sure that doesn't happen to them, or we can push them in a direction. And then at the end of the day, motivate a couple of these kids to maybe do what we did one day and have similar experiences as we did. Because at the end of the day, we want these kids to have a good, positive experience with basketball like we did. And if we can help in any small way, that'll be a win for us. So
it's you and Mike. These are the coaches there.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend on the right, and then Mike is in the middle. Yeah, and then me. So we've all played at a high level, and we have a lot of information that's been passed down from great coaches. So it really helps us relay messages and information and understanding to athletes who love the game. And at the end of the day, if they love the game and they're coming and working with us, that's all you can ask for. If you don't love the game, then it's probably not the right place for you, right? Because you're going to feel super uncomfortable. And but if you love basketball, then there's no better place, in my opinion.
So where can they find you at for Rocca Elite Basketball?
Yeah, we have a website, www.rockabasketball.com, and then
I think I have it in the link below if you're wherever you're watching, anyways.
Yeah. And then we're pretty easy. Mike, myself, and Christine are pretty easy. You can a lot of parents sometimes text us, and we get back to them pretty quickly and stuff. So it's nice to have that personal relationship with a lot of the athletes we work with. So.
And what's Mike up to now? Is he coaching?
Yeah, he coached last season with a high school program, and then he was the assistant coach for my Hamilton team in the CBL as well. And then
amazing!
With a company called BDC Business Development in Canada in Hamilton. So
amazing!
Yeah, he's doing well. So he's living up in Hamilton.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's before we end things off here, I do want to start talking a little bit about your real estate career, because it was obviously the decision you made after retiring from professional basketball. Let's talk a little bit about that and how you got into things.
Yeah, so like I said, I was overseas. When I was overseas, I was thinking kind of like, what's next for what do I want to do when I'm done playing? I mean, I feel like a lot of players that are playing over there aren't really necessarily thinking too much about that, and that was always one of the things that I was like, okay, if I'm going to go play, like I got to have a plan for when I'm done, because it's not going to last forever. So I started getting my license, and like I said, when I was finished overseas, I made the decision to stop. I was about 3 days away from moving to London and signing with a brokerage there, and then I set up a meeting with Royal LePage here in Sarnia, and Adam and I kind of chopped it up for about an hour and a half. Adam Dumont. He's been an incredible mentor to me so far. He's a very personable guy. He's easy to talk to. He has time for everybody. So we've created a partnership, and it's gone incredible. I met with him, and after the meeting, I was like, I think this is the right fit. It was just like me picking a university back when I was in grade 12, right? Like, yeah, like the right fit, and I was like, it seems like that would be a really good partnership to partner with a guy who's been in it for 15 years and can show me the ropes. And then I kind of just talked to my girlfriend, who wanted London but hadn't really thought too much. We really hadn't both thought too much about Sarnia. So we talked, and she was on board, and then I decided to stay home and partner up with Adam, which has been a great decision so far, and he's become a pretty good friend of mine.
That's awesome. It's been about 6 months, right?
Yeah, it's been 6 months now, and I'm loving it. It just you get to meet old friends and kind of interact with people, which I love doing. And
I was just gonna ask, what's been your favorite part about either like working with Adam or just the whole experience of being a real estate agent?
It's exciting, man. Like just like helping people. Like buying a house is a huge purchase, right? Like we went through it. We went through house renovations. Like we went through this now, and it's a stressful process. Like if you can, it's a very, very stressful process. And like if I can help them in any way, and I mean, I'm not the work ethic I put into my basketball career is very similar to what I'm doing in my real estate. Like it doesn't, my work ethic doesn't go away, right? So being able to help and reconnect and talk to people and help people through the process has been pretty exciting, and I find a lot of joy in it. And if the fact that I found something that I love now, and as much as I love basketball, is rare, and I'm super excited I found it, and I'm just looking forward to kind of continuing to work and continuing to do what I love here. So yeah, it's been good so far, and I'm excited for what the future holds.
Well, it's great to see you doing all this, just great things for all these people. It's obviously what you guys are great at doing at Rocca Basketball Academy. What message you have to some younger basketball players out there that might watch this? What would be a message you have for them?
I mean, just continue to work. Like it's nothing's ever too serious. Don't take basketball too serious. Just have fun with it. Just try and get better every day. Just try and love it. Just love the game, and it's gonna give you back what you put into it. So just continue to work and continue to love the game of basketball and have fun and build relationships with friends. And at the end of the day, you just want to have an experience and enjoy something with your friends, and maybe one day have an opportunity to play at a very high level. So yeah, just continue to work hard and have fun with it.
It's great. It's great to see all you've done, Joe, and I can't wait to see where you take yourself. And I'm really excited to see where the real estate career goes. I've been watching you guys. Like I said, you guys have, without a doubt, one of the best social media presence, I think, online out of any real estate agent in Sarnia, and it's great to see.
Appreciate it, man. And thanks for the interview, and we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Joe.
Take care, man.
Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, so that was Joe Rocca joining me here on the Chem Valley Show. Thanks again so much to everybody for joining me again tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm going to have Corey James Mitchell on the show. We're going to talk a little bit about his music career. He's another person who, right when all this coronavirus stuff was happening, he was on tour with his band, and I think the tour got cut short, and we're going to talk all about that and all about his music career. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks again to everybody. Lockdown day number 8. We're making it through it. Everybody, just stay safe and be positive and love one another. Have a great day.